to be no hope. So just look inside. There's an answer waiting, because you and I, we were created to love, created to love. We've got one chance to make a change in the world around us that's falling down, because we've got one life to live. So take every moment and seize the day.
You sent us the emails and we listened. Our leading plastic surgeons, Dr. Kara and Dr. Bryan, on the set tonight to answer a little Q&A. Welcome to the set.
Thank you, Deborah.
We're excited as always to have you.
Thank you.
And we get so many emails from our fabulous audience wanting to know just a few Q&A. And I thought, why not hang with it tonight, right?
Great.
Absolutely.
So the first question we're just going to start with is about vaginal rejuvenation.
Jump right in.
Jump right in. Why not? Who wants to take this one?
I'll start.
Okay. So tell us a little bit about vaginal rejuvenation. Who would be a good candidate? What the procedure is. I know
Okay.
there's a couple, surgical and non-surgical. How long it will last and the cost.
Okay.
All of that.
Easy. So basically we're talking about surgical treatment versus laser. All right. So the surgical treatment would be either labiaplasty, vaginoplasty, or a combination of both. That surgery takes about 1 to 2 hours in the operating room. It's done under general anesthesia. As far as recovery afterwards, the sutures are all dissolvable. Patients do extremely well in terms of pain control. You'd think it'd be a pretty painful procedure
would
considering,
think.
but patients do very, very well with it. Usually back to work within about 3 to 5 days. The only restrictions after surgery are no getting your heart rate up for the first 2 weeks and no sexual activity or tampon use for 6 weeks after surgery.
And maybe explain what that surgery does.
So labiaplasty will decrease the size and length of the labia minora, the non-hair bearing labia, so that when you're standing, nothing's protruding. Vaginoplasty tightens the vaginal introitus, so the vagina, so after childbirth, normal aging, sometimes just genetics. That will tighten that whole area up surgically by removing tissue and tightening the muscle. What the laser does is it changes the quality of the tissue. So no matter what I do surgically, the Diva laser, which is the laser that we have, is able to treat the quality of the tissue. So you can have tissue retraction in terms of tightening. You can have improvement in overall symptoms that go on with menopause, aging, postpartum, and cancer treatment. So if somebody has dryness, urinary incontinence, pain with sexual activity, thinning of the vaginal wall.
All the things that happen
All of those
when you're over
things.
50, just want to say. All of them.
That laser takes 5 minutes, and usually we have the patients do 2 treatments. It is something that might require maintenance, maybe once a year, once every other year, but we go with patient symptomology. So that laser can tighten and change the quality of the tissue. It's not going to be as significant as surgical treatment, sort of like facelift versus an aggressive laser of the face, but it is an excellent option, and there's no downtime from it. Patients may have spotting for a couple of days.
And that is a great answer for surgical and non-surgical for the other set of lips that we have, ladies. So I love that because it kind of gives you for both what you want to do, the downtime, and everything involved with it. Next question to you, Bryan. Crepiness on the legs that just really bother one of our viewers, and I understand. I've seen a lot of ladies have that.
It's a very common area. It's a very common concern, and all my patients who are showing me the crepiness of their knees, I know they've been in the mirror, pulling up their knees and looking in the mirror and saying, "What can make my knees look like that?"
Right.
So unfortunately, nothing. So nothing can give you quite the tightness that we all used to have in our 20s.
Is it because you lose elasticity, or is it because they've lost weight, or is it a combination, or
That's
just
perfect.
aging?
Aging, sun, weight gain, weight loss. But we have a light-based laser. It's not truly a laser. It's called a BBL. And with 6 treatments, 2 weeks apart, it will tighten the collagen and can tighten the skin around your knees. And the results are pretty amazing because it's non-surgical. It takes about 20 minutes.
It doesn't hurt.
It doesn't hurt, and it will tighten the skin around your knees. And the results are permanent. We're all going to continue aging after we have something done. And so it's going to be something that someone does, and maybe in a year or 2 they might want some touch-up treatments, but it will tighten the skin of the knees, and it's effective.
I love it.
It's called the Skin Tight.
Skin tight.
laser.
Those lasers are just revolutionary.
And
I
tell
mean,
you,
lasers are the bomb.
the Skin Tight laser you can use pretty much anywhere on the body, and it's the same technology that you're using for the Diva. But I also have patients that say, ugh, I can't wear strapless dresses anymore because I've got the little creepiness here, or my elbows are bothering me. There's always something that goes to pot, So
Right.
it's a great laser that has no downtime that can treat those areas.
So I have a personal question for you, just between you and me. Do you go in at night and think and laser everything? 'Cause that's it. Like if I had use of a laser, I'd be like, oh my god, I would be like, honey, I'm going to the grocery store. I'd be in there lasering my arms, lasering my.
I am the worst because first of all, the thing's humping all day. Like somebody our estheticians are using it all day long. I'll like try to block myself off some time, like cancel it and put a patient in. So yeah, if I do ever do a laser, it's after hours. But I'll tell you, the laser that I tend to really take the time to do is the Halo, and that laser I've done it's like 3 times now.
2 or 3.
So maybe every once a year, every 8 or 9 months. And that laser, we now have new technology with that laser that we can now do off-face uses.
So we can do body as well to tighten the skin of the body, to get rid of sunspots on the body. So not just the face. But
So do you go in and use it a lot?
I have not.
No,
It's hard to
me
make the
too.
time.
Oh, we're the
It's hard
worst.
to make the
It's
time.
silly.
Worse. Like, okay, then I'll just take your spot. How about that?
Yeah.
So speaking of sunspots, that's our next question.
Right.
Viewer has lots of sunspots, wants to know how to get rid of them, and will whatever the procedure is last permanently.
So when someone's talking about sunspots, there's a couple things they may be talking about. If they're true sunspots, you feel it and you don't feel anything, it's just pigmentation, that's a sunspot. If you run your finger over it and you can feel an edge to it, or that it's a little raised, that's different.
Little
So little-
sandpapery
The little crusties, keratoses.
barnacles.
You have to remove
Barnacles,
those. Barnacles.
So they have to be removed.
And we'll remove them in the office. Doesn't take very long, and they're gone forever. And it really brightens your skin. The sunspots we treat with laser. So once again, either the Halo laser that Kara was just talking about, or the BBL photo laser, and it can be used on any part of the body, and it'll get rid of sunspots. And it's permanent, although it may take a few treatments. And then if you're going to go back out in the sun, or you live in the south, you're going to make more sunspots.
Right.
But it's permanent. That's great.
Well, good, perfect. And the last question is about cellulite. One of our viewers emailed in that she works out, she does yoga, she's just everything right, she eats healthy, but she has cellulite that she's unhappy with on her belly and her legs. What can she do about that?
It's a tough problem, and we have been trying awful hard to try to figure out a really good way of treating that. And there are some things that are out there that are starting to be used to cut the bands that cause that cellulite. So what cellulite is, it's not like you're all of a sudden lumpy fat in that area. You have little bands of tissue from the underside of the skin down to the muscular layer. So almost like a pincushion. And so you get those dimples from where those bands are. So there are some treatments, cellulase being one of them, that will go in and try to disrupt those bands, cut those bands. Now they do tend to come back, they will. So it is something that might need to be done again. But something non-invasive is called endermology. And endermology is something, it's almost like a deep massage treatment. It suctions and stretches those bands so that they become less visible. So some patients who, if they've got a beach vacation coming up, they'll go in and they'll get endermology for a couple of weeks beforehand, stretching those bands, and it really does improve the appearance.
It does.
It does.
Yeah.
And patients who are having liposuction, some of them end up with an improvement in the appearance of their cellulite. I'll be the first to tell them, I said, don't do this for your cellulite, but you may have an improvement, and some people do. But we're still looking for a treatment for cellulite.
Perfect.
Well, the laser does everything else.
Yes.
The next laser will probably do that, right?
Absolutely.
It's coming.
Yeah, it's coming. So, well, thank you guys so much for stopping on the set. You're always amazing. Always, I love that you take the time after busy schedules of surgery and Office Days and kids and Movie Star Kids and Movie Star Lives to stop by the set. So thank you. It's always a pleasure to have you.
Thank you,
Deborah.
Deborah.
Keep those questions coming. We love it, and we love to get to the answers. So keep sending us the questions, and who knows, next time it might be your question.
To view this entire episode or to view other past episodes, please visit our podcast site at DeborahKennedyShow.com.
Tonight I have an amazing guest that had a complete career change. I'd like to welcome Jessie Horton. Jessie, welcome to the set.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
So exciting to have you here. And it's such a great message to women out there that like in a career path that maybe they need a little push to change directions.
Yes.
You know, it's always a good thing. And at least you had something that was your kind of like secondary, right? And then it just got pushed to be your primary.
Exactly.
So you were with the fire department.
Yes, I was.
And you wanted a little career change. And so had you always been interested in baking?
I baked for my kids when they were little. I used to make their birthday cakes and everything,
Right.
my husband's cakes and everything, and it was
And you
kind
just
of
love it?
transitioned into, okay, I can do this for a living. So
Right.
I started selling, cakes, and my husband talked me into the sweet truck.
So
I-
I'm going
I-
to talk about that. I want to talk about,
Okay.
oh my gosh, that is the most genius to have a food truck and have it to be all sweets. Like how nobody has a sweet truck.
They're out there.
There are?
They're
I haven't
like
seen
mine,
any.
though.
Yeah, not as good as Jessie's. Yeah. But that is like
They're
the
out
coolest
there,
ever.
but it's just, and I was reluctant to do that. My husband
Right.
just kept pushing me. He said, you can sell your cakes out there. Let's do, you
Mm-hmm.
cut cakes, whatever. I said, no. And then I said, okay, if I'm going to get a truck, I want a new one.
Right. I'm not
I don't
gonna
wanna
be
refurbish
driving a
anything.
refurbished one. I want a brand new.
And it's funny because he talked about, we priced it out and everything,
Right.
and it was a little too expensive. So I was like, "Phew, okay, good. We don't have. He goes online, finds the truck that I want, and it was already a cupcake truck. So he said, God said you have to do this.
Amen.
So we went and got it and redid it, and it's JessKakes sweet truck.
And you know what? That is support when your husband like takes that extra measure to like say you're like, oh, it just wasn't meant to be, but he goes and seeks it out online and
Yes.
finds it, and it's like everything worked out.
Yes.
I mean, that is like so support, and so clearly you have a lot of support because we have something in common in that we have the same doctor.
Yes, we do.
And he called me up and he said, Deborah, I think there's an amazing guest that you need to have on your show that you would just love. And so, what a support system there.
Yes.
Our doctor calls me
Yes.
to have you as a
Yes.
guest on the show. But you have JessKakes, and it's an amazing like array of everything that's important to you. I
Right.
mean, it has to be so amazing doing, cakes that celebrate people's birthdays and special events and just becauses. And then also all these other sweets, because I'm just going to tell you I'm a sweet junkie. So nothing brings me better pleasure in life than like a sweet treat.
Gotcha.
I mean,
Well,
do
I'm
you
here
feel that
for
way?
you. I'm here for you.
Yeah. So we're going to take a quick break and we're
Okay.
going to show some of your amazing cakes and sweet treats.
Okay.
And then we're going to come back and talk about what we can see more from you.
Okay, sounds great.
All right. We'll be back in a minute with Jessie, but enjoy these pictures right now. And now we're back with Jess. Just, oh my God, what amazing cakes. What
you.
creations that you created yourself. So tell us what we can look forward to seeing more from you.
Well, hopefully my, word of mouth and my advertising, I can get my cakes out there, get more business, and possibly in the future I might have a little small shop that I'm looking forward to You know, I like to research. I like to take my time. I
Right.
don't like to jump
So
into
storefront.
anything. So nice storefront.
And you said that you have a visionary board at home.
Yes.
And that you visualize, just like you did your food truck, and that you visualize something that's very Paris driven.
Yes.
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 So what is your vision?
My vision is just a beautiful storefront, windows with a display of all my cakes, and you go in and it's just Paris.
Yes,
Paris
I
and
love
Charlotte.
that. Paris and Charlotte combining together.
Exactly.
So I'm just going to make a confession.
Yes.
Since I have been seeing this cupcake, I have been dying to take just one bite.
Do it.
Okay.
Do it.
Oh my gosh, Jess. Oh my gosh. I would say yummy heaven. Oh my God. Oh. Like I said, I love treats. And this is amazing. I'm so excited that you stopped by the set tonight. I'm so excited that, you know, for whatever reason your career path changed, it is for the better. And I know that you're going to get that storefront. And I know it's going to be a Paris-Charlotte combustion.
Yes.
And, you know, I'm so glad that we can be part of that on the Deborah Kennedy Show. And I
Right.
know you've got so many fans and so many people supporting you. And we hope that you come back when you
I will
do.
come back anytime.
Yay!
And I will bring treats.
Oh, yay! My hips might not like it, but my heart does. Jessie, it was so amazing you sitting and just chatting with me tonight. And I think you're going to see so much more from our fabulous Jessie Horton at JessKakes. And you know what? She's changing her career path. She's changing her dream. She's just setting the blaze to make a difference. And you can too.
If you are in the fashion, art, or entertainment industry and you would like to be a guest on the Deborah Kennedy Show, go to www.deborahkennedyshow.com and you can be a guest just like me.
To view this entire episode or to view other past episodes, please visit our podcast site at deborahkennedyshow.com.
Here on the Deborah Kennedy Show, we love empowering women. Women that really make a difference, but also the difference starts with themselves. And my guest tonight, Margaret Lynch, does just that. You think outside of the box. You're so professional. Yeah, you reach in there and find creative outlets for yourself, right?
Yes,
Yes,
have
you
to.
do. So let's start a little bit about your history. So I know you're from Virginia. And I know you because you were Austin's trainer down at Audrey Cal.
Yes,
Was
so
that your first job?
That was my first job. So I was an athletic trainer for 12 years and then decided to go back to PA school. And so now I'm a physician assistant at Ortho Carolina.
Right.
And so I work in our sports department and also work at urgent cares and realized that I need a hobby.
Yes, you because both of those are amazing jobs, but they're draining because you know you're working a lot. You're working, I'm sure, to pay off the student loans.
Yes,
you know, and then
yes.
you're like, okay. So what would you know better than working at the emergency room?
Exactly.
But after working an 8-hour day,
Yeah, well, after working a 12 to 16-hour day, I get home and decided I needed to find an outlet. And so it's late at night and don't want to go for a run by myself. So that's when I was like, well, maybe I'll bead.
But I love the story that you told that you actually went to a shop and, you know, it's kind of like paint on the canvas or, you know, build your own beads. And you said you built this amazing, I don't know if it was a necklace or a bracelet.
There's 2 necklaces.
2 necklaces. And you went to
And
pay for it and it was how much?
It was $160.
You're
And
like, oh,
I-
okay, I could do this.
Yeah, I about had a heart attack. And so at that point I was like, I think I can do this cheaper.
Way cheaper.
Way cheaper.
And so that's how your hobby started.
Yes, so then I started beading and then it just kind of took off. I gave necklaces for Christmas and then you inspired me to make bracelets.
Oh.
And so I started making bracelets and developed the Arrow bracelet and just was Arrow in kind of honor of, Arrow means Latin, or is Latin for the wanderer or to wander or to be lost. And so thought this was a great kind of story, backstory. My dad has always been worried about my direction because I was an athletic trainer and then decided to be a PA. And
Now let me back up too. Your dad isn't a prominent attorney.
yes,
He's a
so
prominent attorney, very Southern.
very Southern.
And women are like, oh gosh, you want to know the clear direction, right?
Exactly.
And so he was worried about you.
He was very worried.
Uh-huh.
And so-
Very
Very
worried.
worried.
First of all, do an impression of your dad.
My dad would say, I'm trying to think of a topic, but he'd be like, well, Margaret, what direction are we going in? Where are you going to be in 5 years?
I love it.
I didn't have an answer. So error is to wander, and so I encouraged him and reassured him that the kind of old saying, all that wander are not lost.
Right.
And so I said, well, I don't know where I'm going. I'm moving in the right direction. And so I developed the error bracelet in kind of honor of the joy of the journey and the importance of the journey, because you meet wonderful people like you.
Right. Oh,
So,
thank you. And it is, I think life is truly about the journey.
Yes.
And I don't think there's any mistakes in who you meet in life at certain times.
No.
Because you're meant to meet those people.
Exactly.
And so I think, it's really just a journey. And I'm so I'm so happy that you found something that's an outlet for you that you're really good at, because you are really good at developing
Well,
this
thank you.
amazing jewelry. And there's lots of jewelry out there. There really is. And I think there always has to be a story behind it.
Yes.
So,
Great.
and I think you've got a great story. And I think that, you give so much to your patients, in your 16-hour days. It's kind of fun and creative to come and do your own thing at night when you have, like you probably need 6 hours of sleep or 5 because you never sleep. But to spend those 2 hours creating your necklaces and your bracelets and thinking of the stories that are going with them and the people that you're designing them for.
Exactly. So it's fun. It's an outlet, and it's slowly become a passion.
Right.
So I'm excited about it. And the other great thing about the bracelets are I also included lava beads, which are diffusers so you can put essential oils on them, and so that way you can celebrate and enjoy your essential oils through the day.
I love that, because we have essential oils here. We do lemongrass when Bryce is doing my makeup,
Yeah.
and it just gives you joy. It brings you enlightenment. And I know when I was I have a torn meniscus, so when I was over there on Friday, one of the ladies that works there got bit by a spider.
She did.
And she said you told her to put essential oils on it. Frankincense, what was it? I can't remember what she put on there. And her spider bites were dissipating.
Yep.
So it's kind of cool that the bracelets do have the lava beads, so that you can, do the lavenders or the lemongrass or the
Exactly.
peppermint, whatever,
Relax through the day.
Right, relax through the day. Well, I'm excited to have you on this journey on the Deborah Kennedy Show, because we really are about empowering women. And I know that you'll probably be on the cover of one of the major magazines for Entrepreneur of the Year. You're pretty amazing.
Well, thank
so I'm excited that you're able to share your journey with us here on the show, and we want to follow your journey and ask that you come back.
Yes, that'd be great. Thank you for having me.
It's my pleasure. Margaret Lynch. Those 2 words you're going to be hearing a lot of. She's an empowering woman that really is making a difference, setting the trend, and I promise you're going to be hearing her name a lot more in the future.
To view this entire episode or to view other past episodes, please visit our podcast site at DeborahKennedyShow.com.
I'm hanging out with my bestie, Bryce.
Yeah, always fun hanging out, chit-chatting.
Chit-chatting it up.
Real talk.
And we always do real talk, behind the scenes.
That's what I love is we start this conversation when you're in the makeup chair. And
Right.
we say, hey, let's talk about this on air. It's really, if we're having a conversation about it and we feel like it's something that's, talk about or good, enough for us to talk about, maybe other people may want to hear what we've got to say or,
Right.
add their 2 cents to it, or maybe just open somebody's ears and let them think about
And
it.
we're keeping it real because it's
Exactly.
our chit chat. But
Yeah.
what today, something that we were chatting about is how we can have preconceived opinions of people.
Right, and it goes back to that judgment thing, but a lot of times I think now with, with social media and with the news and everything, we all almost like that preconceived notion is given to us, and we just kind of follow along with it, and we don't really investigate it ourselves, or or even on a smaller scale with somebody we know, we almost take our friends, what they say about something or whatever, instead of rather getting to know that person or doing the investigating ourselves
But
about it.
it's so easy to do. I think we all do it.
It
Before
is.
we talk to somebody or get to really get to know somebody, we have a judgment.
I think
We have
we're wired that way as
Right.
humans. I think. I mean, you see something, you identify it as whatever, and a lot of it comes out of fear or
Right.
not understanding or whatever. And I think that's definitely something we can all take a look at within ourselves and try
Right.
to do that better. Because
But I don't think we do it purposely.
I don't think so either. I think, like I said, I think we're just kind of wired that way. It's just kind of how humans do. And
Right.
but I think being able to identify it is what makes us, aware of it and obviously on the right track and try
Right.
to help that.
And so I'll just give a perfect example. One of the guests that we just had on recently, she was crowned Mrs. South Carolina. And when I met her, she's gorgeous. And I assumed that she was a woman that had it all and was probably born with a silver spoon. And she wasn't. She lived out of her car, and she experienced life that nobody abused, that nobody should probably have to experience. And it was amazing that I was thinking, wow,
Yeah.
I would have never guessed that.
Right.
And it's not that I didn't like her,
Right.
but I judged her.
Yeah. It's interesting too. Like there's times where I've even saw people where because they're either hanging out with a different crowd or this, that, you automatically assume this, like you said, they've been born into this or they have this, or whatever. And then once you get to know them, you're like, wow, I've got more things in common with this person than I don't,
Right.
And again, it's that judging a book by its cover, and it's just.
And we say we're going to do better.
We are,
And
we
it's
do.
and we try, we really do
Yeah,
try.
yeah.
So I think it's just when we're talking with the life, when we talk about what we do as besties.
Yep.
These are things that we talk out, and
Right.
and we're not trying to change anybody's opinion, but
Absolutely
we're trying
not.
to say
Be open-minded.
Be
And
open-minded.
that's the thing. I think if we go into anything with an open mind, anything,
Right.
you can clearly be changed, or it may validate what you think. But at the
Right.
same time, it's just, give people the benefit of the doubt. And
Amen, Bryce.
we
Amen.
never know what somebody else is going through.
judge, not be
We
judged.
judge.
Right?
Exactly,
Amen.
exactly.
All right, so we're going to
Yeah.
start our bestie talk.
Yeah, we hope
and
you've enjoyed this one, and we'll do another one
We'll
soon.
hang out another time.
When you look around, see the tears falling down in a world so cold, where there seems to be no hope. So just look inside. There's an answer waiting, because you